Hello, everybody. Not a typical recording because I am recording in the morning instead of at night after everybody's asleep. Whoa, chunk lag. But I have some things that I want to do. I got this all finished so I can put this stuff away. I actually still need the dirt. Not this much dirt though, probably. Probably only need like a stack of it. But I'm gonna expand the farm today. I had a okay. Give me just a second and then I will continue that thought. Shame I don't have a mace. But I had a dream about her last night. And it was probably the most hurtful dream that I've had yet. She was, for some reason, I don't know why, she was staying at my grandparents' house. Really weird. And she didn't want to talk to me, so she hid in one of their side rooms that they have. And the dream was literally just me not being able to talk to her. That's all that the dream was. It was just me not being able to talk to her. And I woke up and I cried a little bit. It's every time that I think I'm starting to get better that I start to think about stuff like that, or I start to have dreams like that, and I'm really getting tired of it. Because what do you mean I'm just gonna wake up sad? That's not fair, you know? I don't know why I broke that. I didn't really need to. I have plenty of dirt. But yeah, it was really weird, and it's like it's starting to become a problem because I just want to be happy, you know? Like, that's really all I want. I just want to be happy. And I can't really do that when the time that I have no choice is me thinking about her. I don't want to, but I do. And I don't know. I don't want to think about her anymore. I want to be happy. I still want her back. But I want to be happy, too. I care more about that. I just want to not wake up in the morning and feel like I'm doing something wrong with my life, or like I'm not doing anything with it. Even though I am. I'm doing a lot. I'm bettering myself, I think. But then it's like I get home and I just feel completely hopeless. Like I can't do anything. Like all of my thoughts just become me thinking about her and her leaving, and I hate it. I don't want to think about that anymore. And I don't really know if there's anything that I can do about it other than just let myself go through it. I don't know why, because I was doing so well. It really was. And now I'm just not, and I don't understand what happened. But life goes on. And I don't really want it to, but it does. Somebody said in the last video, they commented, because I check the comments on a regular basis. I was also curious about what your guys' favorite ice cream flavor was. Somebody said something weird. I can't remember what it was, but I've never heard of it before, and I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be a joke. But I was reading through, and somebody said that, well, if she moved on, you should too. And the rest of the comment was, you know, I believe in you, you can do this. But then that one thing is just like, find somebody else, you need to. If she did, so can you. And that sounds nice. If it was something that I was just able to do, you know. But it's not. It's not something that I'm just able to do. It's something that's going to take a lot of time to work towards. And I think me downloading a dating app made things worse. I do think that. Because, like I said before, I preface that I'm, you know, just learning how to talk to people again. Because my social anxiety has gotten 10 times worse since she left. So I'm trying to learn how to talk to people again, and I preface that. And every conversation that would just die off, not necessarily because we weren't talking, but because I just don't know what to say. I don't know how to fill in awkward conversation. It's just like every time that happened, I just felt hopeless. And then I would think, you know, wow, she was just able to start talking to somebody else just like that. And it's just such a weird thing to me. I don't think she's evil for it. I don't think she's right for it. But I don't think that she's a horrible human being because of that. And I wish I tried just playing it off as that, you know, oh, she's just a bad person. No, she's not. She's really not. And I wouldn't say that on here. I would just say it in private, like when I'm talking to myself. I just try to play it off so she just doesn't care. She's just a bad person, and that's not true. I feel like I talk a lot about the situation of, you know, me going through it, through the breakup and trying to handle it on here, but I never talk about what the initial problem was. I talked about it once in the first video, but that first video did not do very well. Not a lot of people saw it. So to anybody who's returning that has not watched the full playlist of these kinds of videos that I make, it started with an argument that I had right before I went on my senior trip to Ireland. And I was being an asshole. The argument was my fault. It could have been easily avoided, and it just wasn't. And it's because I wanted to be upset. And this is what happened. And some people say that it was, you know, her fault for just expecting the argument to end. Some people say that it was mine because, you know, I couldn't just, you know, leave apples to oranges or whatever the case might be, whatever you call it. What happened was we went to Dairy Queen and she wanted ice cream and I was already annoyed. I forget why. And we were driving there and I got angry because it wasn't at her, it was at the road. And I have really bad road rage. So I started yelling at the cars in front of me, you know. She told me that it reminded her of an event in her life. I'm not going to say what event it is because it's a very personal thing. But I said, I'm sorry. And for some reason, she was still upset. And I have an awful memory too, so that doesn't help this whole thing at all. But she was still upset. And when I got home, by the time that we got home to back to my house, she wasn't upset anymore. She was fine. But I was upset because she was upset because she was being mean to me. And we got back and she was talking to me. And she was obviously trying to, you know, be in a better mood. And I just wasn't having it. I was so annoyed. I just didn't do anything. I didn't say anything. I just gave her short responses like, okay, sure. I don't care. You know, like that kind of thing. And looking back, I regret that argument every day. It was so stupid. Even though I can't remember 100% what it was about, I remember that it was the dumbest argument that I've ever had, and it could have easily been avoided, and it almost caused her to break up with me that night. She left. She said if you're just gonna be an asshole, I'm just gonna leave. And I said, okay, go ahead. And she left. And then the next day I went to Ireland. And I apologized for that night. I called her and I cried and I apologized. And that doesn't make it right. But after that, she said, I need to see more effort from you. And I said, that's fine. I'm sorry. I can do that. And she saw effort from me. Even when I was in Ireland, I didn't, you know, I didn't fully, you know, what am I trying to say here? When I was in Ireland, all of the time that I had that I was at a place with internet because, you know, we were in Ireland, so our service was very spotty and we had to pay a lot to get that. But anytime that I did get that, because I went hiking and my mom wanted me to have my phone on me, I would text her. And then I would text her whenever we got back to an Airbnb that had Wi-Fi. Where did these 2 blocks go? And overall, I was doing better. When I got back, for the first like week, I played video games with friends, hung out with them because I hadn't seen them in forever. And for her, it had felt like I had still been talking to her, so it didn't really feel like I needed to give her a whole bunch of time. So I mean, I still did. We still hung out when I got back the day after, and she was so excited. And so was I, because I really missed her and I hated leaving on that kind of note, you know? I hated leaving after just getting in an argument with her. And then about a week goes by and I have a concert with one of my buddies. A little more than a week, I think it's 2. But I'm also trying to balance my life with her better because I remember what she said. And I was trying. While also trying to balance, maintaining friendships. I think personally that I was doing better with giving her more of my time and making her feel more loved. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I didn't make her feel that way. But I was trying. And then a couple weeks later, we had me and my buddy, the one that I've talked about before that I am no longer friends with, we went to a concert. That's a weird music shift. We went to a concert. And then the night after the concert, my buddy who I went to the concert with, he was having a little get-together. Well, and at first I was like, oh yeah, man, for sure, I can do that. I forgot that I had told one of my buddies that for his birthday, I would hang out with him to, say hi and hang out with him because it's, his birthday. And so I went there, and my girlfriend at the time, she was texting me, and she was like, hey, are you coming to, I don't know what to call him. My friend, he was like, are you coming to the get together? Because like I've said in the past, my friend was dating, my girlfriend's sister. And I need torches, but I don't know why I didn't get torches. But he, I said no, I forgot that I told one of my other friends a while ago that when he had his birthday thing, I was going to be there for it. And she was like, okay. And then 2 days later, she left. And then a week later, she got with somebody else. She told me the night that she broke up with me that she was tired of feeling like second place to me at all times. She felt like everything else was always first. She said she didn't want me to change and that she's not angry with me, she doesn't hate me. And I begged for 3 hours on the phone with her. I begged her not to leave because I was trying. I thought I was doing better. I really wanted it to be her. And I was destroyed. I called one of my friends right after, and I sobbed on the phone with him for about an hour. Just telling him I can't lose her, like I can't believe I lost her. What am I going to do? And he was just like, I'm going to come over tomorrow. And I said, I can't tomorrow. And he was like, okay, what are you doing the day after? And I said nothing. And he was like, okay, I'm coming over. He's like, we're going to play. I'm going to bring my Xbox. He was like, we're going to play some games and we're just going to chill. I was like, okay, that's fine. So he did. And I was playing it with him. And while I was doing it, I was thinking, I'm doing the thing that she told me I did too much of as a coping mechanism. And that hit me for some reason. And I decided a couple of days after that I was gonna cut video games out of my life for a while. Which I did do. I went from playing constantly to not at all. I didn't play any video games, not even mobile games, for a month and a half. After that month, I waited another week or 2. It was like 15 days, I think. And I started playing mobile games after the month and a half was up. But then after after the month, I started playing Clash and stuff on my phone. After a month and a half, I started playing Minecraft again. And that's when I started doing these videos. Um, actually, at first it wasn't to make videos. It was just to kind of ease my way back into it. But, oh, that's annoying. But, oh, I'm moving. There's a lot of stuff everywhere. I'm gonna go place some torches up here. What was I saying? I completely forget where my train of thought was. Friends, video games, Minecraft. I was playing Minecraft to get, yeah. But I cut them out of my life to make it not as much as a dependency. And now literally the only time that I play video games is when I am recording these videos. Like that's the only time I play. I do not play. I played Ultra Kill for like a day. Like that's for a day. And that was for like 2 hours, maybe. And I just couldn't play anymore, and I have not touched Ultra Kill since, and all I do now is I really play this and record. Like, that's all I do. But she had talked to me before about it, and that's kind of the point of this, is I want to tell the whole story. She had told me multiple times. She was like, I feel like I am not getting enough attention, and I would change it, I would fix it for like a month or two. Not even that long. I'd say 2 or 3 weeks, sometimes a month. And then I would just go back to it. So why should she? You know? Why should she want to come back or to not just move on like that? Because she had somebody who made her feel unloved. And I feel like I play a victim card a lot in these videos, or I make it seem like it's her fault. Because I rewatched, I just had my playlist playing last night when I was going to sleep. And I realized that I really do make it sound like she's the bad guy in this scenario, and that's not the case. I think that she moved on pretty quick, regardless of the scenario, but it's just as much my fault as it is hers that I am upset right now. And I will say, one thing that she promised me was that there wasn't anybody else. Okay, well, she got with somebody a week later. That doesn't happen unless that was planned, or you just wanted to get under somebody else, or whatever, whatever. Like, that's not something that just happens. At least not in my mind. And that hurt a lot. But I don't think that she's a bad person for it. Continuing on with the story, before. I would. This is very corny. The more I look back on it, I would post TikToks, being like, I miss her so much, and it was pathetic. But she didn't like that very much, and then her brother came to my house, dropped off the necklace that I had gotten her for International Girlfriend's Day, which I still have. I haven't given it to anybody else. I don't want to give it to anybody else. If I ever see her again, I will give it to her because it's hers. But her brother sent me threatening texts saying, hey, stop posting, or I'm going to waste diesel and come over there. And I was like, okay. And this is after she had already asked me outright. She unblocked me for literally 0.5 seconds, texted me, hey, stop posting shit, and then blocked me again. Still have not really gotten to talk to her or say my piece at all since she broke up with me. And that's why I'm not saying that this whole thing is my fault, is because I have not... I almost died. Because I have not been given any chance to do anything, really. Had I been, and I was still like this, it would be my fault. 110% my fault. She would be at no fault for this, but the fact that she can't even look me in the eyes. She had her brother drop off the necklace. She couldn't do it. She blocked me on literally everything, refused to talk to me in person. Like, even to break up was over call. Everything was very immaturely done on her part. And I'm not saying that I did not do things that were immature. For example, posting on TikTok, that was very immature. I should have just, coped with it. If I really needed to post something that bad, I should have done it on a platform where nobody knows who I am and who it is, because a lot of the people that follow me are, friends and stuff. And I kind of transitioned to YouTube because I had so many things that I needed to say, and TikTok was kind of how I did that. And once I took down the videos, I feel like I had everything again. I had everything bottled up again. And so I decided to start posting it on YouTube, which may or may not be a good idea, Maybe she hates my guts even more now, but the likelihood of anybody knowing who I am personally on YouTube is very slim. So I highly doubt it. Then again, who knows? I think that I will never find somebody like her again, because she was just something else. Like, she really was, and not in a bad way, in the best way possible. She was something else, and I adored her for it. Did a terrible job at showing it, but I adored that girl. I still do. And that's the hardest part about everything, is I still feel the exact same way that I did when we first started dating. And now we're not even together, but I still feel that way, and it's really weird. Because I know that nothing's going to happen. I know that it's over and she's not coming back. If she did, I would be overjoyed. But that's not going to happen, and I know that, and that hurts. Like, 1.5 years is a long time for me. That's the longest relationship I've been in. Before that, my second longest relationship was 9 months. So we were coming up on doubling my longest relationship time. Prior to her. And yeah, like, I wanted to marry this girl. I had a plan for 1 year and 6 months, which was 2 weeks after she broke up with me, where I was going to give her a promise ring. Because I told her I wanted to, and she said, that's fine, but if you do it, you need to understand what it means, and you need to mean it. And I said, okay. And I thought about it when I was in Ireland, because she said that she wanted me to think about it. And I think she was disappointed when I didn't bring one back with me, because I told her that I was going to buy one in Ireland, but she told me to think about it. So I thought about it beforehand, and I was going to take her out to her favorite restaurant. Which is this Mexican place near where we live. At least I think it's not necessarily like her favorite, but she really, really likes it. And I was gonna take her out to dinner, and I was gonna tell her, all right, babe, I love you. You have had a profound impact on my life, and I want to spend the rest of it with you. And then I was going to have her pick out a promise ring with me. I was going to tell her, we're going to go pick out a promise ring for you. Don't worry about cost, because at that point I had money saved up for it. And I was gonna buy her one. But that didn't happen, obviously. So had this necklace for her for but no, I feel like I represent her in a really bad way, in a really negative light on here. In reality, we were both just kids. She was my high school sweetheart. We were both just kids learning to love, and we both still have a lot to learn. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I would love nothing more than for her to come back. I would love nothing more than to take her on that date to her favorite restaurant and tell her that I love her. But that's not going to happen. I don't know where I'm going. I can't find that. I think that's it over there. I could just completely walk past it. But she's not going to come back. And I know that. I really want her to, more than anything. I genuinely think I would give up anything if it meant that she came back. I would sell my PC if it meant that she came back, and you guys would never hear from me again. So if I ever dip, that's why. Yeah. I really hope that I'll be better soon. Because like I said, I just want to be happy. And she was my purpose. Like, I genuinely believe that she gave my life purpose. And without her, I've just felt so worthless. Not even necessarily worthless, I guess. It's the wrong word. That's too much. I feel incapable. I feel like I'm not capable of loving somebody. Like, I'm not capable of doing anything. Even though that's not true. Well, now you guys know the full story. Or most of it. I probably left out things or forgot things. But, yeah. Alright. Love you guys. Deuces.